Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise, get straight to what matters, and today we're tackling something pretty big. The AI reality check of 2025. It's this real paradox happening right now. You've got Databricks hitting this massive $100 billion valuation.
Incredible number.
Right, but then on the flip side, like 95% of companies, they're seeing zero returns on their AI spending. Just nothing. So we're going to dig into an MIT study that's making waves. We'll look at why Databricks is succeeding against that backdrop. And yeah, we need to talk about Sam Altman. Warning of a bubble.
While raising trillions.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite the situation.
It really is. And, you know, this deep dive, it's essential right now. Our goal here is to help you figure out what's real, what's sustainable innovation in AI, and what's just, well, hype. Hopefully by the end, you'll feel better equipped to make smart decisions about AI for yourself, whether you're building it, investing, or just trying to grasp what's going on.
Okay, let's jump right in. That MIT study, their NANDA initiative.
Right, the Network Data Analytics Group.
They looked at, 300 AI deployments, interviewed 150 execs, and the headline finding is it's a bit of a shocker, 95%.
95% seeing zero ROI from their generative AI pilots.
That translates to, $30–40 billion?
It's evaporated. Enterprise investment, gone. And, the critical thing MI2 pointed out, it's not the AI models. They work. They do the thing they're supposed to do.
Okay, so it's not the tech itself.
No. The real issue is how companies are trying to integrate it. The tools, the workflows, they're just not connecting properly. It's a failure of strategy, really, not embedding it right within how people actually work.
And it sounds like they're putting money in the wrong places, too. The study said half of AI spending goes to marketing and sales tools.
Yeah, the flashy customer-facing stuff.
But MIT found the biggest bang for the buck is actually in the back office, automating internal processes.
Exactly. That's where the highest ROI potential lies, according to their analysis. But it's precisely where companies aren't spending as much.
Interesting mismatch.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it leads to this finding about success rates. If companies try to build their own AI tools internally, only about a 33% success rate, 1 in 3.
Oof. Not great odds.
Not at all.
No.
But if they partner with specialized vendors, people who know this stuff, success rate jumps, doubles, actually, to 67%.
Wow. Okay.
So the lesson seems pretty clear, right? Don't go it alone. Partner up with the experts who figured out the integration part.
Right, leverage that expertise. Okay, that brings us neatly to Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI. He actually came out and said it, didn't he? Admitted, we're in a bubble.
He did, compared it straight up to the dot-com era. Even warned investors could get very burnt.
Which is quite the statement from someone at the heart of it all.
Absolutely. But then, the paradox. Literally in the same breath, he's talking about needing trillions of dollars. For data centers, for building out this AI infrastructure.
Trillions, with a T.
And OpenAI itself, remember, they're targeting something like $20 billion in annual recurring revenue.
Yeah.
While still being unprofitable.
So what do we make of that? That the guy warning everyone the house might be on fire is simultaneously pouring gasoline.
Huh. Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it? What does that signal about the market? About the sheer scale and cost of this whole endeavor?
It definitely shows the immense ambition and the incredible capital needed. It's not cheap to build the future, I guess. But, despite these big picture warnings and integration failures, there are places where AI is moving forward effectively.
Sure.
Like Grammarly, they've got these AI writing agents now specifically for education.
I saw that.
And they seem pretty capable, predicting grades, spotting plagiarism, giving feedback that actually understands the context. It's more than just spell check.
Yeah, and that's actually a really important signal. How comfortable students get with these kinds of AI agents today. That tells you a lot about what the workforce will expect in, say, 2 or 3 years.
So what works in the classroom often sets the standard for business later.
Pretty much. Education is often a proving ground. So seeing success there, it's a good sign for wider adoption down the line.
Okay, so some positive signs on the application front, but let's circle back to the money. Where is it actually flowing? Because that tells a huge story.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned Databricks earlier. Their recent funding round is, wow, that's kind of staggering. Over $1 billion raised, valuation over $100 billion.
Yep, puts them in super rare company. Only SpaceX, ByteDance, and OpenAI are up there in the private sphere.
And the round was 20 times oversubscribed. Investors were basically fighting to get in.
They really were. And you have to ask why, right? Especially given that MIT report. Well, look at their numbers. They're projecting, what, $3.7 billion in annualized revenue? And growing over 50% year over year. Compare that to, say, Snowflake, growing at maybe 25%.
Big difference.
Huge difference. And it sends a clear market signal. Investors are betting on the underlying data infrastructure, not just the flashy AI apps on top.
The picks and shovels.
Exactly. Databricks has like 15,000 enterprise customers. They're built on solid open source foundations like Apache Spark and Delta Lake. They're selling essential plumbing, not just promises, proven infrastructure.
Makes sense. And speaking of big money moves and maybe underlying infrastructure, Intel.
Ah, yes. The government deal.
Yeah, this potential deal with the U.S. government, turning GPS Act grants into equity, a 10% stake.
Potentially. Valued around $10.4 billion currently. It could make the U.S. government Intel's biggest shareholder.
That feels unprecedented.
It really does. And I don't think it's a one-off for Intel. This could be the start of a whole new era. Think state-backed national champions. I'd bet we see similar moves in other critical areas. Rare earths, batteries, quantum computing, probably within the next, say, 18 months.
Wow.
If you connect the dots. It's a major shift in how governments see their role in strategic industries, stepping in directly.
Okay, so while all this is happening, the bubble warnings, the integration issues, the big infrastructure plays, how's the immediate market reacting? We saw short sellers make a killing recently, right?
They did. $5 billion betting against AI stocks in just 1 week.
And that was triggered by the MIT study and Altman's comments.
It seems like it coincided with the NASDAQ having its sharpest drops since August last year.
So institutions are getting nervous.
Well, the rising short interest suggests exactly that. Growing skepticism from, the smart money. It looks like they're not abandoning tech entirely, but they're rotating, moving away from the hyped-up AI names towards things like cybersecurity, core cloud infrastructure stuff with clearer, more immediate value.
A flight to perceived safety within tech.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
A reevaluation of fundamentals.
There's a contrarian take here, though. One that maybe isn't getting talked about enough. Could this 95% failure rate actually be good news for AI in the long run? Bullish, even.
That's an interesting thought. And there's a logic to it. Think about it. Big revolutionary technologies, they always have these brutal early phases. Painful learning curves.
Like the internet back in '99.
Exactly like the internet. Similar failure rates back then. Companies going bust left and right.
Right, pets.com and all that.
Precisely. But the companies that survived that .com crash, they're the giants now. Amazon lost, 90% of its value?
Something like that, yeah. Now worth $2 trillion.
Right. So the point is, today's AI failures, they aren't really about the technology failing. As MIT said, the models work.
It's the integration challenge.
It's the integration. It's the human side. The organizational change, the workflows, the skills, that's the hard part. And that suggests, huge potential value for whoever does crack that code, whoever figures out how to weave AI into the fabric of the business effectively.
History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
It certainly rhymes. And it feels a lot like 1999 right now. The potential is there, but the path is messy.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what does it actually mean for you, the listener? It feels like we're in that classic cartoon moment, right? The Wile E. Coyote moment.
Yeah, run off the cliff, legs still churning. That pause before the inevitable fall.
Exactly. That suspended instant.
Look, the smart money, they're not really debating if there's a bubble. Assume there is. And they're not debating if AI will be transformative. It will be. Absolutely.
So what are they focused on?
They're trying to figure out who has a real parachute and who's just flapping their arms, hoping for the best.
Okay, so examples of parachutes. Databricks, you'd say. Real revenue, real growth, customers sticking around.
Seems like it. They got a solid infrastructure business. That's a pretty sturdy parachute.
And Intel, maybe getting a government-issued parachute.
Potentially, yeah.
Awesome.
A different kind of parachute, maybe less elegant, but likely effective in providing stability.
But for that other 95%, the ones with no ROI.
Gravity always wins eventually.
Yeah.
If you don't have that lift from real value creation.
Yeah. So if you're listening, maybe managing investments or strategy. What's the action plan? Sound like step one is audit your AI investments now.
Definitely. Take a hard look.
And if you're not seeing measurable returns, actual ROI within, say, 90 days.
Be prepared to cut your losses. Seriously. Don't fall for the sunk cost fallacy.
Okay. And focus on partnerships. Find vendors with proven track records.
Yes. Based on that MIT data, partnering significantly boosts your odds. Choose partners wisely.
And shift focus internally.
Yeah.
Prioritize that back office automation over maybe the sexier marketing tools.
That seems to be where the quicker, more tangible wins are right now. Yes, build efficiency from the inside out. And maybe the biggest takeaway, place your bets on the infrastructure.
The shovels?
The shovels. The companies providing the fundamental tools and platforms needed for everyone else. They tend to do very well during these kinds of transformative, sometimes messy, periods.
So there we have it, the AI reality check of 2025. It's clearly a mixed bag. Loads of hype, yes, but also profound opportunity underneath it all. And figuring out how to tell the difference. That's really the key right now.
It absolutely is. And, it leaves us with a pretty interesting question to ponder, doesn't it? If the very pioneers leading this charge, the ones building the most advanced AI, are also the ones warning us about bubbles, while simultaneously raising and spending these vast sums, what does that truly tell us about innovation in this era? About where value really gets created? Maybe it's less about the specific shiny application and more about the deep, fundamental shifts happening underneath. Something to think about long after the hype cycle moves on. We'll cut through the noise and bring you the insights that matter again next week.
Until then, stay bold, stay curious, and remember, in this world of tech, the biggest risk, it's usually not moving too fast, it's moving too late.